Hello and welcome to day 2 of Coasterstock, and right now we are going into the Flight of Fear for our lights on tour.
Yeah, the Flight of Fear.
And we're also going to be they're going to be doing test runs while we're having the tour of the Flight of Fear while we're inside the Spaghetti Bowl.
Yeah. For those of you who don't know, the Spaghetti Bowl is the big octagon-like structure in the back of the building where a majority of the roller coaster is.
So, so for right now, we're gonna cut off and we'll see you inside. Sean, we can't film here. We don't have. I didn't say, did you have that report on when I said that?
No. I just had it on for just a second. Now I figured out that that's just a giant mirror. It kind of loses its edge.
They haven't cleaned it really well, so it kind of ruins the effect.
Yeah. Into the flying saucer.
You notice that blueprint on the there? There's a blueprint right there on the.
I see it. Alrighty, we are in the Flight here right now. If you guys haven't figured it out at this point, and these are the trains. Now, a little information about the Flight of Fear. Flight of Fear was built in
1996.
1996. It's a premier ride. The same people who made roller coasters like besides Flight of Fear, they also made Full Throttle, East Coast, and coming out this year, West Coast Racers and Max Force. This coaster, I don't remember the exact height of this. I don't know the exact stats of this thing, but I do.
Also, I'd like to point out you missed one of theirs, Batman and Robin, The Chiller at Great Adventure in Jackson, New Jersey.
I was just giving some examples, but. Anyway, we're about to go into the place where we're about to go into the place where the launch and the final brake run is on this coaster, and we'll see you in a minute.
Yeah, that's a transfer track right here.
Alright, we are now in the Spaghetti Bowl.
Yeah.
Spaghetti Bowl, and as you guys can clearly tell, this thing is insanely compact. I mean, just insane. Now, like I mentioned before, I don't know much about its stats. I'm not that familiar with Flight of Fear, but I do know some of the tricks that this thing does. Within this structure is 4 inversions. One of them you can see right now, a fairly good sized corkscrew. There's also a monster Cobra roll in here, as well as an Immelman, multiple overbank points, and just steep bank hills where that give you just the same amount of lateral G's. Not too much in the ways of airtime though. This thing's not known for airtime. Just staying really compact and messing with your senses.
sorry.
Alright, this is actually some...
If you could hear us over the noise, it's the remnant, it's the secret. Which was that Hammer 1998 through 2005. Unfortunately, I was not able to ride it, but John the Mystic Rider has rode the Coaster, so that's one credit he got that I didn't. First for Fa.
Yeah.
Had I gotten that, they don't do that.
I can say I think this is all the haunt storage, if I'm right here.
Yeah. At least for the stuff that's in the
Sorry, we're not trying to bump in. We're just looking at the chandeliers and stuff.
Yeah.
What are these? I wonder. These like plastic thingies.
I think there were parts pieces for like restraints or something.
I can say this looks like this is their storage area.
Yeah.
Because apparently we get to see a little bit of construction. My theory is right here in this spot's a new haunt building.
Yeah?
Because I have a feeling they're replacing the Field of Screams, which is back where Dinosaurs Alive was, way in the back. So I have a feeling they're going to have a new haunted house by next year too, or this year, depending on when it gets done.
Yeah.
But we get really close of a Komatsu excavator and a bobcat for the construction of said, in our theory, a new haunt maze. So for right now, we're going to cut off, and we'll see you in a little bit.
All right. Here's something interesting. What these little metal drum-like things? What I do believe these are molds for making footers, and it looks like there are I can tell maybe three different size footers here. One big one and three smaller ones, which I'm pretty sure are going to be the footers for the new coaster.
He got me back. So in the meantime, I wanted to know, working on the train, how it works. Obviously, you have to get this story powered. Want to know how that works? So I'm a professional engineer, mechanical engineer, 26 years career. Starting off with jet engines. So I went from steam engines to jet engines. There's a lot of similarities in the physics between the two. Mark is so I come back as an engineer years later. Also, in the park, Climb and Electra. You know, by different names back then. She was in the ice race, now I'm saying that. And my wife's personal favorite, Woody Harrelson, in the park. So if you know where the gift shop is, the Diamondback, kind of adjacent to the employee. And came back there, they had a wood shop there, where you give them your name and they would route your name off your dialogue, keep it off. On the left is called the very other side, that's the end of the 2x6. That came out and go around the top for tanking. There's only all right.
I'll put you in that yellow.
I think that is our stop.
Yeah, we're stopping in here.
Also, there's Johnson, and I don't do sports, and I want he was one of the early supervisors of the baseball club. Okay. For those who have quick eyes, you may have seen this as we went by. Anybody recognize who this is? Right, Dick Van Dyke. So this is Dick Van Dyke on this engine out of this window in preparation for the 1978 season, making a commercial for King's Dominion, whose engines were totally different colors. But it was all new at that time, and so no one ever necessarily knew that. If you do the Taft Broadcasting commercials between Carowinds, King's Dominion, King's Island, if they had similar rides, you tended to see, you looked at the background of the commercial and said, well, that one was at King's Dominion. So anyway, what I usually say at this point, and I don't know that the Wi-Fi is turned on the Pick and Grow for you to pick this up. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. But if you went to YouTube and put in King's Dominion, commercial number 2, hashtag 2, 1978, you'll see Dick Van Dyke coming in on the 30-second commercial on this engine right here. I don't know, you want to, well actually, why don't I hand this to Kyle, and Kyle can walk back and forth. Okay, Eric. Let me try again, because I'm fighting Mr. Chambers. We didn't used to have to fight that, but that's I guess a good thing. Can you hear me in the 5th car, sort of? Okay. Let me, well maybe, Chris, are you up there? Let me try. Chris, can you hear me? Can you see if you can hook together a couple of these extension cords such that I can hook into the train from here, if we've got enough extensions? So let me try to, like I said, we've never done this before, so this is live. I had this version, I've got a 3-page plan, and 2 if it was raining, but obviously we're needing to go to version 2.2. We're on 2.1 right now. So we're going to see if I can hook back in from here to the train PA system, and we'll see if we don't get feedback there. Let me do this. Well, I can try to turn it this way to get the back. Can you still hear me in the front? Thumbs up or thumbs down? Well, I'm going to get feedback there. Okay. So Dick Van Dyke, 1978, I walked into that. The person that was sitting in the engineer seat in that commercial is Lou Brown, as you see the name on the side. This was originally Simon Kenton, as in local historian naming, and Blue Engine was Tecumseh, that you are behind. It is now Kenny Van Meter. And And you're probably thinking, who are those people? Lou Brown, for those in the back, you can see a poster hanging leaning against the door back there, so at least you got something you can see back there. It's a little closer. Lou Brown was a career steam engineer in charge of the heat, baking energy for a bakery, big bakery, and had a fondness for steam, owned a steam fire truck that he competed against big diesel fire trucks, which normally, if he was given enough time to warm up the boiler, he could beat modern pumpers with a steam-driven system. More startup torque, and you got to give them that internal engine up high RPM, but a steam locomotive, steam engine has the highest torque at the low end, so it's a different curve. Instead of going up, it starts up real high. That's why we can start 80-ton train with those two pistons. Well, two will be working one side of each, so it's really two. You see two pistons up there on our engine here. You can see there's one on this side, one on that side. But every movement is being pushed by steam because it's a dual action. Steam pushes one direction, then pushes back to the other direction. So although it looks like 2 cylinders, it acts like 8 compared to a car where you've got to use the compression and the exhaust and all the other on a 4-cycle engine. So we get a lot of power at low speed. This engine is rated about 60 miles per hour, but certainly not on this track. Anyway, so the story, Lou Brown was the first full-timer foreman, superintendent, whatever you like to call him. Kenny Van Meter was his number 2, who was a local farmer up in Lebanon who ran steam equipment. So, fast forward to okay, well the story starts with Coney Island, and I wouldn't be surprised if you see that on the Coasterstock trip with the Mr. Dennis Spiegel. So you may recall Coney Island had a 24-inch gauge train, much like the gauge of the Cincinnati Zoo or lots of other zoos, with a C.P. Huntington type engine, one with a big single drive wheel in the middle. And in the 70s, when there was the big push to make Kings Island, the Walks and the others, the old school that were running Coney Island all those years, they sort of split out a little bit, and the younger managers moved up and started taking control and building Kings Island in 70, 71, 72 time frame. And they sent them up here. They had their hands full building that part. They got Lou Brown, and Kenny Van Meter, and a few other folks who have been career steam to take over getting the train. They said, I'll tell you what, let's go to get a Crown Metal Products. If you look in the front of the train, it will say Crown Metal Products. Oh, it's right here. Sorry, like I said, this is live. So it was Crown Metal Products, and it was where they went to. And the catalog at that time, this is a picture of the a picture of this what's the current pictures actually of the engines that were at Coney Island, smaller ones. So they said, well, we'll get something a little bigger than that. And they showed them a catalog from Crown. And this catalog, they call them the Little Toot, was 15 through 24. What they called small 36s were out, but they look smaller, obviously. This is called the big 36. I don't know if you can walk So then Kyle's going to come along with the pictures to show you those. So they said, we'll take care of it, we're ordering. But they knew the big 36s were available. So while management was thinking, okay, something a little bigger than Coney Island, as I understand it, when the flatbed showed up from Weymouth, Pennsylvania, with these things on them, you can imagine the surprise that happened, and many people like, whoa, this is a big train. This isn't. So we advertise this as 2/3 scale, but it's 2/3 scale of the General from the Civil War, which started as a 50-inch, and then they trimmed it back to a 4 foot 8.5 to be standard with the gauges. The Southern Railroads had a okay. Oh. I don't know, maybe if they ask questions we can repeat back there or something. Oh! Well, we'll do the best we can. Hopefully I'll repeat if we have the timbers go by and rattle things too much. So they caught them by surprise, and we're glad they did, because if we got the big trains, and if you compare to other Crown engines, we have more brass than a lot of them. It was a little fancier than many of them. Some quick observations. You see the green one, every time Crown would deliver 2 trains to a park, the engines would be different. Obviously the numbers. 19, I'm not sure what Lou's preference was for 19, but number 12 is actually the 12th Crown large, or the 12th Crown 36-inch gauge that was built. So that was something actually I just learned last night. I'm still learning. So as I was saying before, I had 7 years as a conductor. I'm up to 26 now in the park on the train, and that is not the longest. For those you can see across the way, there's a little sign that says Sam Jasper, MD. I believe he was at 43 years on the train. So there's a lot of, everyone on the train this year is a returner. We don't have a new person on the engineer staff. Okay. Well, let me do this. I'm going to switch back to the front so people can hear me, and I will hand things off to be walked back. How's that sound? Mechanical lubricator that would do it for you. People tried, and Elijah McCoy was the one who came up with the best. He was a roundhouse. On the left is called very small. That's the other one. Came out and go land out the tank.
Hey, Sean, I'll put you in that hill. Let it be. Hey, what's up?
I think this is our stop.
This is the engine house where in the mornings we got the trains ready. You saw some tools like we will, because we're on this side, we'll be going by 4 electric screw jacks very close, that in the wintertime we have this big beams that are on the other side of the house. You can see over the left side. They go into that, and we actually pull the engine up into the air. I'm going to go with 4 feet or so. You can take the top of the stack off and get it up closer to the ceiling, so that we're under there. The engine guys will take all the running gear off. For those who came back, when we come back out in green, you see as you come out something about the size of a toaster on this side. That's the mechanical lubricator that references the real before. So we've got the yellow pins with the red tops, or the jacks that will pick up the train. And winter time, we do one train pretty much prepared out every winter. On the left side underneath the ladders are the two beams that go in there. Take wheels off, reprofile the tires. Yes, these are steel belted radials on the drive wheels.
Once again, just another little safety spiel. Make sure you're keeping your arms inside. Make sure you keep your butts on the seat because the train does jerk a little bit. Don't want you falling over onto other people. Thank you.
In the reverser, by moving it back and forth, we do a little. Morning long checklist.
Okay, we are now going into the slaughterhouse for a lights on tour of the slaughterhouse haunted maze. So we're going to show you a little bit of what it looks like when we get in there. So we'll see you in a few minutes. Close with the lights on. Here's some of the displays of the front room.
See, I'm used to it because I'm used to it for years. It's like, I know it's not real. I don't see it. I don't care about what
I can't tell what type of animal that is because of the...
looks like
It's a dog.
like a Kruger.
Cougar.
Like a Black Panther. Black Panther, that's what it is.
Houses design all this stuff hanging down. You have to push out your face because that has to be here. Then if you're trying to push stuff out of your way, if something pops out, it's scary.
Yeah, but that was not during Bond. That was during this is just a walk through with the lights on.
Here's some of the, we're in the meat locker now.
That's the weird thing between like regional parks and universal.
There's some, yeah. There's some bunny rabbits. There's some deer, I'm guessing a deer pelt, lamb pelt, pig, another pig. Okay, we're still in the meat locker section of the maze. And parting the screen for a minute because they were getting covered. Here we go, and right here usually is when you're getting squeezed by the balloon in this tunnel here. There's a little bit more here. Jump scared.
I don't care when they're just hiding in plain sight. I want to speak voice. What are you dying? No, we don't have to worry about that.
You play a game on your phone while you're walking through.
He's part of a Pokemon Go tournament. Here's a couple of monsters. Oh, don't worry, they're not scare actors. They're just dummies.
Although I think a lot of times scare actors are usually him.
Okay, here's another one of the fallen victims of the... Fun fact for this section right here, usually there's a scare actor attached to this table, and they usually act like they're being sawed in half.
Yeah, I almost fell.
A lot of clearing for the construction. Now we do have confirmation that this is probably going to be a coaster. Just the amount of land clearing and the paver mold that we saw earlier. It's more likely going to be a roller coaster. Speaking of coasters.
Except this year they're running the blue train along with it. Do you mind if we...
Alrighty, if you guys look there, all the clearing is going to, there's a lot of clearing that's revealing that there's a decent amount of terrain exposed, and it's probably going to hit at some sort of a terrain element. If you guys, if a lot of people of you who've been to Kings Island might have noticed that a lot of Kings Island's roller coasters have some level of a terrain built into their roller coasters. And this new one, as you can probably guess, is no exception.
Okay, we're about ready to go on the Diamondback tour, but we wanted to point out a few cool things that we didn't see last time on the tour. As you can see right here is some water dummies they use to test the coasters during test runs before the park opens, and it looks like there's a few spare trash cans and stuff, but if you look over here you can clearly see that there's some apparently they store some haunt stuff back here, which looks kind of neat to me because that's for the new section they just opened up the Coney Mall. But we're gonna cut off here for right now, and we will see you at the Diamondback tour.